Hello, trumpet players. Welcome again to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about what is the difference between a trumpet warm-up and a trumpet routine. There is a difference. They are similar, but we do a warm-up for a different reason from why we do a routine. So, let's talk about the warm-up first. A warm-up is what it sounds like. The warm-up prepares us for playing the trumpet. We use a warm-up before we practice. We use a warm-up before we rehearse with a band. And we use a warm-up before we perform. This is very important. Not everybody needs the same amount of warm-up, and there are some people who can warm up in their heads. Sometimes I can do that. Sometimes the physical needs change. So like, for example, if your lips are too stiff, or if they're too dry, or something, makes it just more difficult to play the instrument, then, or you know what else happens sometimes is sometimes if your air is unsteady for some reason, maybe you had too much caffeine, or maybe you haven't slept in a long time, and the air will go out the window. So warm-up is also a way to prepare your air so that it works correctly. We want all this stuff working right before we start playing the trumpet. And that's an important part of playing the trumpet. Now, a routine is something different. We use some of the same exercises, but a warm-up helps us warm up for the trumpet. A routine is a collection of exercises that we do on a regular basis that help us become a better trumpet player. For example, we often use long tones in a routine because we know that long tones help us get a better sound. We will often do lip slurs in a routine, a trumpet routine, because we know that working on lip slurs gives us better flexibility. We'll getting a cleaner change between the notes. So stuff like that. We can do articulation studies, pedal tones. So the basic idea of a routine is that these are exercises we do on a regular basis that make us a better trumpet player. So there you have it. The warm-up is to warm you up. A routine is something you do regularly to make you better. So my concept of what a warm-up is grew out of the work I did in this book. This is The Secret of Technique Preservation by Ernest S. Williams. And I was doing this routine out of this book. He actually uses the word routine. It doesn't say routine on the cover, but in the first paragraph in the preface, I just dropped the folder. In the first paragraph, he actually refers to it as a routine. And so I started with that routine and I changed it. I changed it again. I changed it again. I've been changing it since the early 80s. And what I do today is almost unrecognizable compared to this book. But that's how I got into the whole routine concept. Now here's the good news, is that sometimes you can practice in a way that the warm-up and the routine are the same thing. You can do it both at the same time. For example, the routine that I do has warm-up properties to it. So even though I don't refer to it as a warm-up, not usually, it still warms me up. So I don't have to do a warm-up before I do my routine, because my routine has a warm-up built into it. So that's the routine that I do. I teach it to my students. If anybody's interested in what that routine is, we can talk about that. Ask in the comments below, and Maybe I'll do a video on what's in my routine. And so, yeah, so sometimes we want to do both of them at the same time. Sometimes we don't have time to do both at the same time. If you have to warm up in 5 minutes, then a routine isn't practical at that point. So you actually have to do a warm-up. So, and we can talk about that too someday. Anyway, for this video, I just wanted to point out that there is a difference. The two are not the same. We sometimes interchange when we're talking about it as trumpet players. We interchange, we'll say routine instead of warm-up, or warm-up instead of routine, because there are so many similarities, but the reason why we do them is different. And when we keep that difference in our mind, it helps us do the right one at the right time. Okay? So keep that in mind. Any questions? Ask in the comments. If you like this kind of video where we talk about trumpet stuff, give me a like and subscribe, and you'll get more of that stuff. All right? Okay, so God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.